All right, so let's go with simpler stuff right now. So what I'm going to do right here, guys, is I'm going to tackle one of these guys right here, okay? I'm going to do one of the frames. And as you guys can see, when I do this, you guys are going to notice that I have, there we go, X-ray, okay? I'm going to have a thumbtack. I will create the thumbtack and then show you guys how to do this right here, okay? All right, when it comes to images, whether it's a paper, this to-go thing, and all of that jazz right here, right? These guys right here are all the same. It's a very simple, very thin plane, okay? What I'm gonna do with these guys right here is just simple, unadulterated, low carb, vegan, gluten, sugar-free, all right, extrusion. Shift, right, move tool, I'm gonna clone this ever so slightly, okay? And as soon as I clone this, what I don't like about cloning with the move tool is that one of your faces will turn black, not a big deal, right? I'm going to select the opposite with this face selected. I'm gonna press shift and select, okay, let's start this again one more time. All right. All right. There we go. Delete. Select the face. W for move. Hold shift and then extrude it. Okay. Very, very thin extrude. Doesn't have to be this big, right? It's cartoony, so you can go a little bit thicker, right? Not that thick for some reason. All right. Perfect. Okay. My computer is going really, really slow. I have no idea what's going on. So in these situations, one of these faces will be reversed, right? It's usually the original face. So I'm gonna select this face right here, select it, and I'm gonna go to reverse. And as you guys can see right here, right, they're all extruded, right? If you guys wanna have uniform extrusions, right, let me select these guys right here. I'm gonna select this object here, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one, okay? And I'm gonna isolate it real quick. Isolate selected. Okay, and I'm gonna go to my top view, isolate these guys right here, hit F, right? And you guys will notice that this guy right here has been extruded. The other ones are not, right? So I'm gonna select this guy right here. I'm gonna go to faces, right? Which is this guy right here. Right? And I'm gonna go, it's kind of hard to see. I'm gonna go shift, extrude it this much, right? And then after I extrude it, I'm gonna move it down, back, and I'm gonna press V, and I'm gonna snap it to the other frame. You guys see that? Because the extrusions and scale for extrusions and everything, it's gonna be somewhat of a hassle. Okay, so what I wanna do is I wanna make sure that when I extrude these guys right here, remember, this face right here, you have to flip it, right? And this guy is now golden. I like to select this, hitting F, making sure that all of my edges are gray. Once I do this to all of these faces right here, again, select this face here, select this face right here, select this face here, and then select this face right here, right? Once I have all of these guys selected, I'm gonna go shift, extrude all of them, right? I'm going to then move these guys back like this, right? And it's better to do this on a top view or on a side view. And then I'm gonna press V and I'm gonna snap it to one of these vertices right here. And now every single object right here, you guys will notice that I'm gonna expand this, shift period. And now I'm going to select all of the faces. Whatever selected will be deselected. Whatever is not selected will be selected. And that didn't work. All right, no big deal. Select this face, reverse. Select this one, G, G, and G. Okay. So once this is done, right, as you guys can see right here, everything has the same thickness because if I go to my top view, right, you guys will notice that they're all the same thickness. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bevel these guys. If I select these guys right here, and hit 3, right? This is not gonna work. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to create a bevel on one of these guys over here. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna select this object. I'm gonna go to edges, and I'm gonna select all of the edges, and I'm gonna get really close to this corner right here, right? And I'm gonna go Shift right mouse button bevel, right? And you guys will notice that I'm gonna get this bevel of 0.5 because they all have the same thickness, right? That's why I made sure that all of these pieces of paper had the same thickness, that when I go to the other objects, when I go to this object right here and I go to edges, right? And I select all the edges, and I will do this guy right here so you guys can see it compared to the other one, okay? Notice that this guy right here has bevel, right? When I go right here, guys, and I go bevel, right? I can go G. You'll notice that my bevel is the same on both of them. Why? Because the thickness is the same. So 0.5 on this one, right, will be 0.5 on this one too, right? I don't care if the other one is super big. The thickness, the edge is the same in all of them. That's the only reason why I wanted to model all of them the same way. So now what I can do is I can select the rest of the geometry, right? So which ones did I bevel? Well, very easy way to find out. I'm gonna hit 3, select all, 3 for smooth preview, right? So these guys right here need to be bevel, right? No big deal. I'm gonna go to 1, right? I'm gonna select these guys right here. I'm gonna go to edges, right? And then I'm going to select all of the edges. Notice that these edges don't get selected because I didn't go to the edges. And I'm going to go Shift right mouse button bevel. I'm going to leave everything the way it is, chamfer off, fraction of 0.5. And you guys will notice that the bevel of the rest of these guys right here will be 0.5, right? If I zoom in real close, you guys will notice that this bevel here and the bevel of the other ones that we did are identical. And these guys are pretty much done, okay? So I'm gonna save this scene right here. And next what I'm gonna do is I'm going to create the UVs. The UVs for these objects are going to be extremely, extremely easy to do. Okay, so first let me select everything. Let me hit 3 for smooth preview. Perfect, okay? The UVs work, everything looks flat. There's a thickness. There are shaders where you guys can apply the texture in the front and the back, and you guys can even revert the one in the back. But most of the time, when you guys draw something on paper, it rarely goes into the back, so that doesn't apply. We use that mostly for leaves. So we have leaves that have one single plane, right? And then you guys want the leaf texture to be on the front and the back. You can create a double face shader where the black, the non-renderable side will also be rendered. Okay, but in this situation is different. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select everything. I'm gonna go to level 1, right? I'm going to select these guys right here, perform modeling hygiene. Perfect. And now I'm going to do the UVs of one of them, right? And I'm going to show you guys how to apply the texture. So first I'm going to go select all, and I'm going to go right mouse button, assign existing material, right? And I'm going to go to UV textures. And so far so good, right? Because we started from a plane, we have decent UVs. But as soon as I zoom, you guys are going to notice that these squares right here read correctly. That's good, right? They're all the same proportions. That's also good. But some of them are square, like this one. And some of them right here, you guys can see that, are very rectangular. So let's start with this guy right here. No, let's start with this guy right here. So let's go to our UV editing. And I'm going to hit F. And the way that this is done is not correct at all, okay? There is literally a disaster going on. So what we're gonna do, you don't even want to look at it. This is really, really, really bad. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a select all. I'm gonna go right here, right mouse button, select all. I'm gonna go to edit, and I'm gonna go delete. I don't want UVs. All the objects are gonna turn black because they have a texture. The texture cannot be rendered, therefore it goes black. Okay. I'm going to go to right here to use the default material. I'm going to select this guy right here. And like we were doing before, our UVs process is going to be the same as always. we're gonna do create, automatic, right? And when I hit F right here, you guys have them. And I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go right here. I'm gonna go automatic. Oops, let's go to object. It has no UVs, right? Here's my grid. Here's the 0 to 1. So I'm gonna go to automatic. Boom, done. I'm gonna go to the next one. I'm gonna go object mode, select this one right here, automatic. I'm gonna go now to this one right here, object mode, automatic. Right, and I'm gonna go to this one right here, object mode, automatic. Last but not least, I'm gonna go to object mode, select this guy right here, automatic. So now they all have UVs. So as you guys can see, if I go to object mode and I select all of my objects, all of the UVs are created inside of the 0 to 1 tile. Okay, I'm gonna hide the grid, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this object right here. I'm gonna select the object, and now the UVs from this object, only this object show up. And okay, let's go over this object right here. So I have a front face, sides, and a back face. Okay, so let's see. Let's go right here. Hit Shift F so I can see it in all the views. And I'm gonna go to my perspective right here. Perfect. All right, so I'm gonna isolate selected. So this face right here, guys, is going to be the front face. Right, make sure that I didn't click on the one on the back. Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna go W right here. I'm gonna move this front face right here. This UV shell, I'm gonna select this UV shell. I'm gonna move this guy right here. And as you guys can see, I'm gonna have this face has its fencing. So if we zoom in right here, you guys will notice that the fencing, I hate when I do one of these, so it's right here, okay? So what I wanna do is I wanna select, double click on this edge loop so that this lip right here, this shell right here, if I go right mouse button, UVs, UV shell, this shell right here, the one over here, the one at the bottom, the one on the side, get attached right here. So I'm gonna double click on this edge loop, and notice that when I do that, these guys right here, and these ones, when I go to stitch together, boom, they go right there. So it's like a flower, just like what we did before, right? And now, as you guys can see right here, I have these guys. I'm trying to figure out who these guys are, because I have the back face right here. This is the back face, right? And if I go to edges, oh, I got it. These right here are, let's go to object mode real quick. Object mode, with this selected, I'm going to isolate selected. Perfect, okay. Hit F, perfect. So these guys are sewn right here. You guys will notice that there's no thick white lines anymore. So what I'm gonna do is for the back face, for this face right here, I wanna sew this to this edge right here. So I'm gonna go to edges right here. I'm gonna select this edge, right? Something doesn't seem right. Oh, it looks like the fencing right here did not get attached. Okay, no big deal. Let's go ahead and select. That's not right either. Let's select this edge. For some reason, that did not get sewn. I'm trying to figure out why. All right. So one thing that I can do, guys, is I can select this face right here in the back. And then here I can go Shift period and expand my selection. And these are these faces right here. So if I move these faces right here, right? It looks like the fencing on the back was not sewn to the back face. As you guys see right here, right? If I go to vertices, select this vertices and hit F, okay? So these strips of fencing, I don't know why they did not get sewn. So let's fix this. So I'm gonna go to UV shell, this guy right here. So I have a little strip right here, and then one probably on the opposite side. Would not be surprised. It's a really bad projection, which is kind of weird because automatic gives you good projections. All right, no big deal. So I'm gonna select this edge right here. which is this edge here. Right, and I'm going to go to stitch together. Yeah, it's this guy right here. So let's go to stitch together, right? I'm going to show you guys something in a second. I'm going to go to the opposite side. Select this edge here. Here we have something cut in half. Or was that? No, that's an optical illusion. So I'm going to select this edge right here. And again, I'm going to hold control, disable these guys right here. It looks like these guys are actually sewn, stitched together. There it is, okay? And now I have the back plate. So if I go UVs, UV shell, here's this back, right? And then I have the front, which is this guy right here. And then the front has the edges sewn, but the corners, as you guys can see right here, guys, are not sewn. So I need to create a hinge, okay? Meaning that I can sew the back to the front by attaching it to this edge right here. So I'm going to select this edge right here, right? That's the edge. I want to select this little guy right here, okay, because I want to sew there too. This guy here. And I'm going to go to the very, very bottom. Sorry about the slowness of this computer. I don't know why this is so slow. Right, and I'm going to zoom in right here. And I'm going to go to this corner. And I'm going to press shift and then double click on this edge loop. On this little edge, so I can get the little fencing edge here on the top of the bottom and the one here. And I'm going to go to stitch together. And it's kind of hard to see, but you guys will notice that when I select this UV shell right here, that this is a box that's been opened, okay? We have the front face, we have the back face, and then we have all of the lips or the sides around the front, and then on this edge right here, that's how the back is attached, okay? So I'm gonna do the same thing for the other UVs, and now if I go right here, and I go to disable, no, I have my textures here, disable, show the shader mode, you guys are gonna notice that the texture wraps from the front to the side, right, all the way to the back, and then it wraps on the top lip, side lip, and bottom lip. Okay, so this guy here has perfect UVs, and if I go to my other objects, it's going to be identical, okay? So again, I will select one of these objects right here, right? My next one, so I'm isolate selected. I'll go for this one right here, and you guys will notice that I have a front face, which will be, let's go to object mode, let's isolate selected. Isolate selected is probably the best thing you guys can do. This is my front face, so I'm gonna select this face right here. I'm gonna move it here, not the face, but the UV shell. Keep doing that all the time. And now I need to sew these little strips from the top, left, right, and bottom sides, right? So I'm going to go to these edges. I'm going to select all of these edges. And when I select these edges, it's going to select these little strips right here, right? This little rascal got disengaged. So I'm going to go to stitch together. Perfect. And now you guys will notice that this is now one single shelf, the front face with its beveling and the side strips, and I need to sew the back to one of these edges right here. So I'm going to select this back piece, right, this edge right here in the very, 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 very back. Okay, I went to a subatomic level. So I'm gonna go to edges. I'm gonna select this edge right here, right? And I'm gonna select this tip right here and the bottom, hit F, and then zoom in right here because I need to attach it right there. But let's pretend that I forget this guy right here. I wanna show you guys how this works. I'm gonna go to stitch together, and yes, I forgot to stitch this guy right here. This you cannot stitch together. This you can only sew because they're already stitched together over these UVs right here. If you guys notice, I have one UV, right? If I go to the poly count, and then here I should have two UVs, one for each corner, right? So the only thing that we can do is select this edge, which is the same edge, right? And we can go to sew. And this box is done. If I go now to object mode and I bring up my texture, you guys will notice that the texture wraps from the front around the back on this edge. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty much how we're gonna create these objects right here. Very, very easy. They're very thin boxes. That's it. All right.